Hi everyone, what's cooking today? We have some potatoes, we have some leeks, we have some onions, and we have some meat. I don't know the English word, but in Dutch we call it carbonate. And first thing we gotta do is we gotta clean the potatoes. With a sponge, with potatoes, because you need to remove the dirt. You don't want to eat the dirt. Dirt stays really fine, and can hold a lot of bacteria that you don't want in your stomach. When the potatoes clean, we cut them. But we need to remove this dark spots because dark spots ain't good for us. But I don't peel the potatoes because there are a lot of vitamins in the scale. So I remove the dark spot just by cutting it off much as is necessary. If you don't want to use too much of the potatoes, you only want that dark spot away. And then I cut the potato in tiny pieces because this is going to be a hot one. Pieces like this. I put the pieces in a big cauldron. So just like this, some pieces. Now we do that with about 1 kilo of potatoes, because this is a meal prepping. Because most of the time when I'm cooking, I cook for more than one day, because I don't like to cook every day, because I don't want to spend that much time cooking every day. Because on my training days I want a quick meal that I can rest as much as I like. So when we're done cutting, we put water, fry the tomatoes. Make sure the potatoes are completely underwater. They need to cook completely. Alright. When we have that, we can heat the water. I use the maximum stance, because it's going to take about 20 minutes before the potatoes are ready. I've set a timer for 20 minutes. I always cook with a timer because I set a timer, but I don't start it yet because I always use a timer, because when I use a timer I know exactly when it's ready. Then I always have a bowl with me that I put the rest that I don't need in. Now we're gonna cut the leaves and we take another English word for it, bowl with holes in it. And then we're gonna cut and clean the leaves. We remove a little bit of this part because that's not eatable. So we cut that off and throw it away. You don't want to eat the leaves, so we cut off the leaves and throw that away. That's the first one. That we do with all the leaves. This is very quick to make meal. Only the cutting is taking some time. But if you want to eat healthy, cutting is necessary because food that you don't cut yourself most of the time they put substances in it that you don't want in your meal. We cut the leek by half, and when we have the halves, we make half rounds like this. And we just got all the leek, and these half rounds, when we're ready, we put in the bowl with the holes so that we can clean it with water. So this is a very easy to make meal. Only the cutting, but the cutting saves you a lot of money. Pre-made vegetables are more expensive than cutting it yourself. So I got it like this. This was just the second one. 2 more to go. And by this hodgepodge, you can cook the vegetables with the potatoes, so we're gonna fry them when we're done. And my meal preppings always are made to be warmed up, so we don't need to keep everything warm during the cooking process, because we put it in some microwave baskets, or how you call it in English. So when we're ready, we let the food cool off, and at the evening, when we like to eat it, we put it in the microwave, heat it up, and then we can eat it in about 5 minutes. So it's some more time to make it now, but you got a lot of benefits every day because you don't need to cook every day. I'm ready, so I'm gonna wash. Clean off the door. Just make sure the water is off and it's not dripping on your floor, because if you got a wooden floor like me, the floor won't like the water. I always take a wok pan. First, I need to cut the onions. The onions are a nasty cut thing, because if you put them too close to your eyes, tears are coming out. So we cut off this part, and on the other side. Then we cut the onion in half like this. So when we cut them in half, we can peel off the shell very easy. And we don't want this brown part in our meal. So we peel just off that layer until they look like this. And that we do by all 4 the onions. Just remember when you're cutting onions to take a lot of enough distance from where you're cutting. Because when it comes through your eyes, you don't want that, because then when your ears are tingling, you can't see clearly where you're cutting. And that's dangerous for your fingers. So we got this one to half again. We peel it off. I already have some tears in my eyes because it's not avoidable every time. So, and the last one. The last one won't go off very easy because I work all the time. Some onions have a very sticky shell, but I'm very fine first with that. But that doesn't matter because the water of the potatoes ain't cooking yet. So the potatoes need to cook 20 minutes. So we have enough time to finish the rest in that 20 minutes. Alright, the last one. This one was easy. Then we cut the onion in tiny pieces. So maybe I can film that, how I'm doing that. Alright. The technique for cutting the onion, you have those lines on the onion, and in these lines you can cut perfectly. So we put the onion like this, we cut in that lines, small strokes to make tiny pieces, then we twist it to the other side and we cut tiny pieces again. then the pieces will look like this. We want that kind of pieces. So we do that by all the onions we have. And if you're more advanced with it, you can do it quicker. But you need to be careful with your fingers because it's a very sharp knife. Because the best is to use a very sharp knife. I like to use this knife because it's not too small but not too big. It's perfect for cutting the meat and the vegetables. Because with a big knife I have the problem that I don't know that technique where you do this. Because I don't know how to do that. It's not necessary. Because I'm not a professional cook and I have all the time to cook my meals, so I don't need to be fast like a chef or something. Because this is just at home cooking myself. So 3 more to go. Now the water starts cooking, so when the water starts cooking, we set the timer at 20 minutes. Now I need to make some noise because I don't have put on the device that's sucking off the steam. Excuse me if I don't know everything in English because it's not my mother language. I learned it by gaming and watching movies and at school, so I'm maybe not that kind of advanced in English as guys that comes from England or America. It will look like this. The onions. So when we're ready cutting the vegetables, we're gonna heat up the wok. Put some butter in it. You don't need that lot of butter, just this is enough. Now we don't need this anymore, so I'm gonna throw away the rest and then I will be back. But we need to bowl again for the meat because this meat has bone on it and we need to cut it off. And if you like, it is not necessary, but if you like, put a teaspoon of salt by the potatoes. So it just adds some flavor to the potatoes. butter is ready. First put in the onions. And fry the onions. And after the onions are done, put in the leek. So the leek can be fried too. And during that, you can start with the meat. This is the meat. And I have 2, 3, 4 pieces of it. So we can start by cutting off the bone, and I will show you what the bone is when I'm done. First one. This part we don't want, and then the meat over. So first I will remove all the bone from all the pieces. The onions smell fine at the moment, so I'm going to put the leek with it. And then I use the spatulas to mix the leek with the onion. Then I put the fire or the stand of the electric. I have an electric cooking device, and I put it a little lower at 2/3, because we don't want our vegetables to be black when we're going cutting the meat. You don't want to fry the vegetables too much, because then they shrink, and you don't want your vegetables to shrink too much, because then it won't fill the meal enough. So you can continue with the meat. This one, last one, is a big one. I see it's very thick. And if you don't want that fat, because this is some pork meat, if you don't want that fat on it, you can cut it off. And the fat are the white parts of the meat. So when we cut off the bone, we don't need the bowl anymore. Then we're going to cut the meat in small pieces like we cut chicken, because the meat is going, the be mixed under the hodgepodge. So I will cut it in tiny pieces before I'm gonna fry it. You can cut it in pieces like this. I feel there's still some bone on this one, so throw that away. Because we need to make sure we don't get bone in our meal, because that can be very harmfully for your organs. So we're cutting the meat. When I'm done, I will show you how the meat looks. Now I put the vegetables off the fire. Put the fire out for a moment, because otherwise the vegetables will be too much fried. You want the onions you want to be fried enough, but the leek just want to be fried shortly. Leek shrinks much when you fry it too long. And then we have some almost 10 minutes on the timer for the potatoes. I don't care about the fat at the pork meat, because I am eating healthily most of the time, but with the dinner, I don't do sauces or that kind of thing. Only when I'm making macaroni. So I don't care about a little fat by the meat. Cutting process always takes the most time. But luckily when you're cooking potatoes, you have 20 minutes to cut everything, to fry everything. Last one. Cooking always fun. I like to cook for myself because I like to eat nicely and I want some tasty meals. So, and the secret with meat, with most of the meats, is that you use coriander on it. Coriander gives the meat a really tasty taste. I put this away. I first need to wash my hands. When we're done cutting the meat, it will look like this. It will look like this. So now I don't know the word for this, but I'm gonna search it up when I'm done with the video. Then we put the vegetables inside the bowl. I need a spatula. Then we can heat it up, we can heat the wok, and put in some butter again. My secret about not spilling the spices is we heat the pan, we put in the meat, and then we put the spices on it. Because otherwise, when I'm putting the spices on the cutting plank, I always spill some, and I don't want to spill some because I need to clean it up after, and I don't like cleaning up. So we have a little bit less than 5 minutes. So I put in the meat. I always use wooden spatulas. Never use iron in a pan. Iron will damage your coating. And then I put in some teaspoon of salt again, but not with the tomatoes, but by the meat. Then put the coriander on the meat, and be very generous with it. Because when you don't use sauces, you won't have that fine taste. So then I put on the pepper, the black pepper I use. That is my combo for the meat: salt, pepper, and coriander. Then it may look like this. And then with the spatula, I mix that up and just fry the meat so it has that fine brown look, because you don't want to eat pork meat when it's red. The only meat you can eat when it's red is beef. So now we have some time. At the meantime, I throw away the bone. And I always like to listen to music when I'm cooking, but I don't know if I may use all the music I'm listening in the videos, because you got some order rights or something. So there will be another music on the video that I'm listening to. No problem. Just listen to music that makes you happy when cooking, because cooking fills the stomach, and when the stomach gets filled, you feel really bad. At least I am. So I put the meat on that 2/3, heating again. Then I forgot I need to butter again. If when I'm making hot butter, use some milk and some butter. But we don't need that yet. Because first, the tomatoes, I mean the potatoes, need to be ready. Now, you don't want to fry meat too long, because then it's going to be dry, and you want that juicy taste. So the timer goes off, potatoes are ready, so we put that off. The meat now looks like this. So we can put the whole fire out, but first I need to make some space in the bowl. So I put the vegetables by the meat. So I have a clean bowl to put the water out of the potatoes. We don't need that water anymore. Then I can put out that nasty noise. It's always making a lot of noise. So I'll put everything off the fire because we don't want to fry anything anymore. Because that's not necessary. Yeah, our potatoes should look like this. We put it in the large cauldron. For this we need I call it a stamper. Yeah, I will show it here. Put in. We put in a little bit of butter. We don't need too much of it. And I use some low-fat milk. Which can you use any milk you like. So we put in a little bit of milk. And the reason why I fried the vegetables and not cooked them, because leek and onions taste better when they're fried. So now we stamp the potatoes. Don't worry about the shell. I don't know the word, but the shell of the potato. Just there won't be too much of it when you stamp the potatoes. So that's done. Your potatoes should look like this. And when we're finished with that, we can put in the whole bunch of vegetables and meat, but we don't gonna stamp that anymore because we don't want the vegetables and our meat to be squashed. So now we use the spatulas to mix everything together. It's gonna take a little time because we want that fine looking food. And when it's done, and I'm going to put it in the little boxes, I will show you how it looks. So after mixing it up, put it there. I use a kitchen scale to weigh my portions. And I have this fine boxes with a lid you can open. There's a hole in it for heating it up in the microwave. So when I make one person portions, because I'm living by myself, so I don't have a fine girl in my life at the moment, so I only need to cook for myself. And I always make one person portions if I have enough boxes. So put on the scale, and I use one spatula. For one person, we need portions about 450 grams. So we have 400 grams now already. Yes, now I have 452. I will show you. This is what it looks like now. Then I put the lid on it and let it cool off so that I can put it in the fridge when I'm done. Let's see how many boxes I can get out of this whole cauldron of hodgepodge. Oh, that's too much. Alright, second one.
sticky meal. Alright, the third one. So I think it will be about 4 to 5 portions. As I can see how much I got left. It's gonna be 4 bigger portions, but I don't have enough to fill one other box. So what I'm doing then, I open up the other boxes. And I just gonna equally split what I got left. A little by this one, a little by that one. So that was it. So maybe I can show you. So with this whole cooking, we're done in about 50 minutes. And we have 4 portions, so I can eat 4 days of it. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun like me, and have a nice dinner.